Hey, do you have any money I can borrow? Well, as a member of a FINRA firm, there are very strict limits on whether I can even ask you to do that or if I can borrow or lend money. And the rules are usually about who you can and can't borrow from and what you have to do before you take on this loan. So I'm going to give you two examples of where people didn't do the right thing. So FINRA just barred this person from LBO. Barred means kicked out, can't work anymore. Okay, not like a suspension where you get a couple months vacation. This is straight up, you're kicked out of the business. So he borrowed 200 grand from an older client, 70-year-old client who had some health issues. Boom, 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 red flags all over. He never told anyone about it. He borrowed 200 grand and signed a promissory note saying, I'm going to pay you back, 500 a month or 200 a month or whatever it is, or more, or whatever, every month for 10 years. And don't kill me for my fucking math. It's horrible. So then after about 2 years, he stopped paying. So then the customer's like, wait, where's my money? They couldn't get in touch with him. So the customer remember, this is a 70-year-old guy with health issues, contacted the firm, and the firm said, what are you talking about? We didn't borrow money from you. Then it came out that this person borrowed, and he was in a position that he couldn't make enough money to pay the loan anymore. So they let him go. And then FINRA came in and said, okay, well, you didn't disclose the loan, so you're barred. And like I said, there are situations where he could have done that, but he didn't disclose it. So even if it was a good situation, it's out. He gets kicked out. He can no longer work in the industry. And the second one, okay, here we go. So the second one, he borrowed up to $7.3 million from like a couple of billionaire clients, all that. Borrowed, and he paid it back. He totally borrowed and paid it back, made good on it, whatever it was, but he didn't disclose it to the firm. So instead of being barred, they fined him 20 grand and a 4-month suspension. And again, it was the lack of disclosure that was the issue that they nailed him for. And they fined him 20 grand, which I think worked out to be less than 0.02% of the 7 million he borrowed. So not a bad interest rate. So here are who you can and can't borrow from. You can borrow from immediate family member. Look up the definition. You can borrow from a financial institution that actually lends money, arranges finances, stuff like that. Both of those, FINRA doesn't require disclosure or permission, but the firm can. Remember that. And remember, family members and financial institutions, you don't even need to disclose unless your firm requires it. Remember, just because FINRA says you don't have to, doesn't mean the firm can say, yeah, we need disclosure and permission. And the next three, you actually need to have permission and notification before you do it. One, if you work for the same firm. Both are registered rep, both registered of the same firm. Two, if you have a personal relationship outside the firm, like you could have done the loan even if you weren't a customer. And three is if you have a business relationship, again, outside of the broker-dealer customer relationship. So the bottom line is you can lend money to customers, but under certain restrictions. Either you have to disclose and get permission, and you have to make sure that you pay back the loan. And that's FINRA rules. The states have stricter requirements.